I actually can't wait to break down the Valentina fight.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Guys, we'll be up in a little bit. Give us a couple seconds here. We got a fire episode coming for you, so read that sign on there. Stoop Life. We talk that talk. The best sports group in PA. You already know. Join the dang group. I gotta watch what I say because I might get banned here. So
yeah, it might get banned. Can't curse now. Can't curse now. Not allowed. Not allowed. The group will be banged.
Boys are here. We're here. We're back.
Oh shit.
Paulie. Now,
yeah.
Now, hold on. Before we get started, I've been waiting to do this episode. Not particularly this total episode, but this topic for 3 fucking years now. Since the day we started doing these podcasts, been waiting to talk about this guy. And now we actually talk about him in a fight. I'm excited.
We have not had a Jon Jones fight talked about on this podcast.
Never. Now, we had Jon Jones winning a couple of debates in the group. I don't know about that. We've had that, but we got a fight coming, and we get to talk about it. So I hope you guys are ready for this, especially you actual UFC fans. You're going to actually understand what we're talking about here. And you casuals, you're going to enjoy it too as well because you're going to get some of my picks. And I'm absolutely on fire right now with our UFC picks. So you got to tune in for that because I'm telling you guys, I am on fire. 48. We're back. On the year. Well, I wish I bet more money because I'd be up a lot, but hey. I don't know. I have a little rhythm there where if I think I bet a little bit too much, I lose. So I'm going to keep it little. So that way, follow me can win more money because I know there's a couple of you out there that follow my picks and that have been putting big money. You've been winning. You know, I'm not asking for anything. All I'm asking for is a shout out of Stoop Life. So please do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you ready for this episode? I actually got notes on me today. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stoop Life Podcast. You guys already know the deal. We are the best sports podcast in Pennsylvania, and that's all because of you guys. You guys bring us topics to talk about. You share our stuff, so we thank you. Tonight's episode, as you already tell if you've been watching the feed and listening, I love this episode. I'm extremely hyped about this episode, and we got UFC 285 talk, the return of Johnny Bones Jones taking on the number 1 contender, Gane. But we got a couple other fights on this card that we're going to need to talk about. We got Valentina Shevchenko defending her belt. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov fighting Jeff Neal. If you guys don't know that, you guys are going to have to look him up because that dude is an absolute animal.
His streak is nasty.
Paul, this fight, people ask me, what is your favorite fight on this card? My favorite fight on this card is not even Jon Jones. I'm most hyped for Jon Jones. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
My favorite fight on this card is Matisse Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. I can't believe that fight because it's the last minute fill-in fight, and both guys, like a win right for either one of these guys jolts them. We got all you Pennsylvania people out there. You watch Penn State wrestling.
This is my favorite play right here. This is my. I think it's gonna be play tonight.
I'm hyped for this fight because we're gonna talk about him too. He's talking all that shit already. Already talking shit. You know, we got a couple other guys on here. We got everybody knows Cody Garbrandt, no love.
Yes,
he had no love from me.
Yes.
That's sure. We got my guy, Dracus Duplessis, shouting me out on Instagram. My guy, he's fighting this time. I think it's a little
with the brand.
I don't know how he should be on the main card. Sorry, Bo, but Dracus should be on the main card. This guy's a beast. We got my girl Amanda Rivas fighting Vivian Araujo. That's going to be a heck of a fight as well. And then we got up and comer Ian Gary, who, if you didn't know, is from Ireland. He's fighting on this card too. Up and comer 10-0. I'm just saying, like, I don't think we've ever actually broke down a fight card before we actually talked about it. That's how good the fight card is, guys.
It's like, decent.
It's probably, in my honest opinion, dating back, it's probably the best fight card I remember since Jon Jones failed the steroid test at UFC 200. Probably how good it is, man. Like, let me bring up my screen here because I forgot to do it here. But I just want to show like this screen card of it. I gotta get him on the screen already. Look, Johnny Jones, he's on the screen. Gane, Look, we have 12
Valentino.
ranked.
Jeff,
We have
Jeff,
12 ranked fighters on this card. 12 ranked fighters. The overall win streak for this fight card is 101 combination. That's a double of what the last fight card was. That's crazy. I mean,
that is wild. That is definitely wild.
Now, we gotta start. We're gonna start with Johnny Jones. I mean, obviously, we're gonna start with a Jon Jones fight. I'm gonna break down the odds here. If you guys listened, I already did a breakdown of Jones and why I think he's the GOAT. But we're gonna discuss his fight and break that down tonight. So we got Jon Jones coming into the fight is the favorite at minus 166. Gane is the dog at plus 130. For to be by knockout, we got Jones plus 380. Gane. Sorry, it's Gone, right?
Gone. Make sure you say Gone.
Gone at plus 500. By submission, Jones plus 700. Gone plus 1,200. By decision, plus 180. Gone plus 320. For the fight to go to distance, they're saying yes, minus 128. Over under is 4.5. For it to go over is minus 140. So we see the stats here, Paul. You know, what's your first take on this fight? Because we already talked about this enough and how we wanted to see this particular fight, and we're getting it. So tell the people your original thoughts on this Jon Jones Cyril Gane fight.
First of all, shout out to Jon Jones, the GOAT, man, for stepping up. And he's not taking on the weakest link. Like, he's not taking on, just a nobody. He's taking on Cyril Gane, who's a very technically sound heavyweight, somebody who's very difficult to figure out. I give, Jon Jones is the GOAT. I'm never ever going to bet against him. But before I even say that, Gane's going to be a very difficult opponent for him. I think this is the hardest fight he could have had. A harder fight than Francis Ngannou, in my opinion. As crazy as that sounds, a way harder fight. John's going to have to be at the top of his game. He's going to have to come in here and be very more technically sound. Now, if I'm Gane, if I'm Jon Jones, though, I'm not striking. I'm not going to sit there and try to brawl, try to make this a boxing match. I know I'm not going to outbox you. I know I'm not going to go in there and outbox Cyril Gane. It's not going to happen. I have a beautiful jab, and I'm a tall guy. I know how to keep the distance, but I'm not stupid. That's how Jon has to go into this. He has to be able to basically not, I won't say bully him, get him to the ground. He has to make Gane kind of do what he does bad, which is overthrow. And he has his Gane's cage IQ is not great. It's as much as I say he's a technically sound fighter, his weak point is cage IQ, meaning he doesn't know when to make. He mixes it up at the wrong time in the clinch. He has a tendency of overthrowing. That's poor IQ. Now, if I'm Gane, I'm saying, okay, listen, I'm making this a boring fucking fight. I'm gonna make you come to me, and I'm going to catch you with something, and you're not going to like it. Every time you come near me, I'm touching it. Because he's fast. He is faster than Jon Jones. His hands are faster. I won't say he's stronger because we don't know how strong Jon Jones is going to be at heavyweight. Remember, Jon Jones never had power at light heavyweight, but everything else would hurt. Every other limb hurts. So I see it like this. If it stays to defeat, Gane's going to win this fight. It's just that simple. And it's not that any real MMA fan would know if he sits up top with Gane, Gane's gonna pick him apart. He's eventually gonna say, that distance ain't shifting me. That distance, I like that. He's gonna say every time you throw a long ass jab, I'm coming inside of you. If that pause, whoa. I'm stepping inside.
Whoa.
Dog, I gotta say pause. I got a New York fitting on right now. So I gotta say pause.
Pause.
I gotta say pause. I don't miss nothing.
I'm gonna screenshot that motherfucker. Keep going on.
Right. Now, like I was saying, every time he throws that jab, it's a lazy. Jon has a lazy jab. It's straight, but it's not fast. But it's effective. If I'm Gane, I'm saying, okay, I don't stay still. So when you throw this jab, you're going to have to catch me sitting still. My head movement, I'm good at that. So every time he throws that jab, I'm jumping inside, and then that body's wide open to me. And what Gane does, he might go left, but it's like a juke move. When he goes left, he's coming back, bang, and hitting you with a right. Jon got to figure that out if he stays up top. Like, oh, I got to be patient now. But if this goes to the ground, Jon's going to beat the shit out of him the whole fight. As much as I seen how he escaped a couple on Francis Ngannou, like when Ngannou got him on the ground, he did escape. He did stand up a couple times. That's not Jon Jones. And I think if the fight goes to the ground, Jon's going to beat the bullshit out of him. And that's not being disrespectful to Ciryl Gane. But Ciryl Gane got to make this a boring fight as well. He got to say, listen, I'm not throwing a punch unless you do. You're going to chase me. You want me up against the cage and grapple? Come to me. And I got to see where Jon is. Is he anxious? Is Jon going to go in there and say, oh, I got to get him. I got to get him. This is my first fight back. Or is he going to say, okay, you want to be boring? Okay, I'll be boring too. And that's just how the fight's going to go. But like I said, Gane's going to either have to stop him between the I would say probably the second or third round, or maybe no, pause. Take that back. It's going to have to be late because we're going to see where Jon Jones' cardio is going to be. Or Jon's just going to beat the shit out of him for 5 rounds on the ground. And it's not going to be a pretty fight for Ciryl Gane. That's just me.
I agree with you. I mean, I can see this fight going anyway. It could be a submission. It could be a knockout. It could be anything. My one question is about Jon Jones. Every single thing you just said, absolutely agree with. I absolutely agree with. I think Jon Jones is not the type of person that should strike with Ciryl Gane. Yes. First off, question mark. How's he gonna like? He's never been stunned before. He's never been hit. He's never been hit by a guy that weighs 265 pounds either.
That's true.
I mean, his brothers probably hit him. They're not professional fighters. They're not Ciryl Gane. It's a little different. Your adrenaline's out there. It's a little different adrenaline. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see how Jon reacts to the first time getting hit by Gane, even if it's in the
exactly.
Clip. It's not a boom. Because even a jab by a guy like Ciryl Gane, a kick by Ciryl Gane, who loves to throw kicks, it's going to feel a lot different.
It's going to hurt.
How Jones going to wear that after first round, after the second round? Is going to wear him down? Is his cardio going to be there? Because Jon Jones has always been a guy that his cardio is there.
Always.
The question is this. Always. The last 5 or 6 fights Jon Jones has been in, he tried to beat his opponent at the thing they were best at. Did that ingrain into his system, which that's what he's going to do? Is that going to be his fight style? Or is he going to come out and fight his best style? That's a big difference. If he tries to
very true. I agree.
Kickboxing, we already seen what happened. He fought Santos in that type of fight. He fought a Vitor. He beat Vitor, but he fought Santos, and a lot of people thought he didn't really win that fight. So if you're doing that against Ciryl Gane, you ain't gonna beat this guy at kickboxing. Nah. This guy will tear you apart. And it's a little bit different getting hit by Santos, who was a former middleweight. Yeah. A guy like Ciryl Gane, who's out there doing 360 dunks on 10-foot rims. I don't know if y'all saw that video.
That's a bad bull. That is an athletic bull, yo. What they feed him in France, bro?
I don't know, but he's unbelievable. I mean, people forget this guy trained with Francis Ngannou. I mean, he lost to Francis Ngannou, but Francis did some things that nobody expected him to do. Yeah. And he did get him in a couple submissions. At the same time, Francis had a blown out knee. He put him in a heel hook. Can you feel the heel hook when you have a broken knee? When it's already torn? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. So bringing it back to why this fight is better than Jones versus Francis. Because everybody thinks, Jones versus Francis would have been the fight. Jones would have ran through Francis.
I think so too.
Easily. Ciryl Gane is Jon Jones bigger. They do a little bit different things, but they are very versatile. Their favorite thing to do is throw a distance jab, hit you in the body, and throw the leg kick. Yep. They both do the same damn thing.
It's touchy. They both like to touch you.
Yeah, exactly. Off camera, we were talking about it. The one thing Ciryl Gane does, he likes to overthrow, but a lot of times he pulls you in.
Yeah.
Against the Ty fight, right? He brought Ty in.
Bring him in.
Clinch, and Ty hit him. He almost knocked him out. But Gane, I keep saying it wrong, Gane came back and he whooped him in that fight. Now, my question for you is this. Do you think that's a technique that Gane should use against Jones to lure him in?
No. Don't overthrow him. Do not overthrow on Jon Jones. Stay boring. If you feel like you're gonna throw, you're not gonna be successful at throwing this combo. Stay boring. Like you're gonna still have to make Jon throw. Like that's the bottom line. Do not try to go in there and overthrow. That's what scares me about Gane. And I'm always gonna. That's my thing about him.
I agree. I had a couple marks that I wrote down on Gane because, honestly, it's really hard to write a marks on someone like him that he's that very well rounded.
That's nitpicking, and that's nitpicking.
The two things that I wrote down are the two things that you would tell your heavyweight to do against a guy moving up in weight: clinch and grapple. Yeah, you don't want to do that against Jon Jones. And there were bad things Gane isn't really good at. He's really good at the clinch.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the best heavyweights at the clinch. But he's
already
ever at the clinch.
Already.
This guy invented the clinch. Jon Jones is the guy that they started using the foot stomps, the backwards elbows, the shin kicks. That's all from the clinch because of Jon Jones. If you get Jon Jones into a clinch, this guy is not Francis. Francis is pure strength. So when Francis gets you on the ground, he didn't have the long lifetime ability to do these different maneuvers, wrestling on top or on the bottom, whatever. Yeah. Jon Jones people forget, this guy is one of the best ever at the ground. When he takes you down, he keeps you down. People forget, he choked out Machida from a clinch standing up. So
and dropped him. Literally, I still remember that too. That was the nastiest walk-off I ever seen in my life.
It was probably the best submission I ever remember. I mean, there's probably other ones. Just the fashion. Machida barely ever got submitted, and he did it to him standing up. It was beautiful.
It's just the way he dropped. See, it's burned in my mind. Just the way he cocked back, and they said, "Oh, that's enough," and he just dropped them, and he just.
You can sit there and talk about Jon Jones all day.
I know.
At the end of the day, guys, this is the thing. He's coming off the 3 years rest, and he's moving up in weight class. I get it. It's Jon Jones. But 3 years moving up against a heavyweight, I'm curious to see how he does. I think if we get a motivated Jon Jones, a guy that has 11 title defenses straight, 18 straight wins, 6 finishes in title fights, that guy's not losing because his fight IQ, we talk about Gane, his fight IQ is not great. That's what makes Jon Jones great. If you ever listen to other fighters talking about Jones, they go, dude, he knows what you're going to do, and he listens to his coaches. Yeah. And he has some of the best coaches. I get he probably has 10 different coaches now since he's been kicked out of all these gyms. But you bet your ass Jackson's there. He's coaching him. He's one of the best coaches ever. And we'll see what happens. I think if we get a motivated Jon Jones, I honestly don't know if he can finish Gane. Gane's a tough guy to finish. Even Francis had trouble there. I think like you said about Gane, I hate to say it, but he's right. You're right. He needs to make it a boring fight. If you make it a boring fight against Jon Jones, we've seen what Jon Jones does in boring fights. He gets lazy.
Yeah,
he does. And I think if Gane does that, he's gonna take away from Jon Jones trying to grapple with him, and he's gonna be able to get them leg kicks and then body shots in, which in essence is probably gonna hurt Jon Jones.
Yeah,
bodybuilder. I don't know if you've seen the picture of him. Everybody's fat joking him now.
Yeah, he's bulky, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't care. I think he's
bulky. What do you expect 200+ pounds on Jon Jones to look like?
Exactly. The funny thing is about the picture, if you look at him, he put no weight on his legs. None.
None.
I hear him. I understand that because I can't put weight on my legs either. So it's I get it. But with that being said, if we get the Jon Jones that showed up in his last 5 fights, Gane's going to knock him out in the second round. If we get the guy that fought Smith, Santos, the last Gustafsson fight, the Reyes fight, Jon Jones is going to get whooped. Mm-hmm. And I find that very hard to happen, but there's a likelihood that could happen. So for those of you out there that are taking Gane to win, you better take Gane to win by knockout or decision. I wouldn't even take the money line. Take the knockout or the submission. Knockout or decision. He's going to win one of them ways. I don't have the line here because obviously that's not my pick, so I didn't write it down. But, I would take that. But I didn't even bring these up, guys. I want to show how well-rounded these fighters are before we make our picks. Look at this ball. So win by 43% by knockout for Jones, 45 for Gane. 26 by submission for Jones, 27 for Gane. By decision, 30% for Jones, 27 for Gane. Ring time, 15:28 for Jones, 16:07 for Gane. Knockout average, 0.22 for Jones, 0.31 for Gane. How crazy? Like, virtually identical on how they finish fights.
Absolutely.
But let's take it a step further. Let's look at their strikes. This is the crazy part. Landed per minute. Jones, 4.3 strikes landed per minute. Gane above him, almost a full strike above him, 5.11. Strike percentage, 57% for John, 59 for Gane.
Ooh.
Award per minute, 2.12 for Jones, 2.25 for Gane. Defense, how they protected, blocked the punch, is 64% for Jones, 62 for Gane. Now, don't get thrown away by these stats because even though they're very similar, Gane is a better stand-up guy.
Yeah.
But how crazy is that their win by and their significant strikes are all identical?
They are each other. That's why.
I mean, it's crazy, but this
they're
is
similar.
Right here. This is why we're talking about Paul and why the grappling is very cool. Takedown average,
lopsided.
Oh my God. 1.85 per fight, 0.62 for Gane. Takedown accuracy, 44% for Jones, 21% for Gane. Takedown defense, 95%, number one in the UFC. Jon Jones, 55% for Gane. And then submission averages, they're both below, right around 0.5. So it's like, these guys are virtually identical fighters.
They are.
There's a lot of question marks that come into this fight that we just talked about. I'm willing to bet that the motivated Jon Jones is going to show up. Every single interview I've seen with him, he seems like he's ready to get back into the cage.
He's different. He's definitely a little bit different.
The last couple of fights that he had 3-4 years ago, he kind of just seemed like he just knew these guys couldn't beat him, which I said that for years. He was basically doing what GSP did and practicing because people told him, remember when GSP was there, they're like, you can't wrestle, you need to wrestle. And then he went out, learned how to wrestle, and then just dominated everybody wrestling. And then it was like, oh, you can't stand up anymore. And then he went out and dominated people standing up. Those guys, that's like guys that are so good. But he can't do that against Gane. Gane is good at everything. So it's like, all right. So you'll see. But what's your prediction for this fight, my man?
All right. So I'm going to go. It kind of pains me to say because I'm such a Gane guy. And I love Jon at the same time. I'm gonna go Jones 5 rounds. I haven't seen Jon hurt for me to be like, oh, he's gonna stop him. If Gane does stop him, it's gonna have to be 4th or 5th. But I have Jon Jones winning by a unanimous decision because I think he's gonna come in there motivated. He's gonna be smart.
I would love to see Jon Jones come out knockout. I really would. Like we said, he doesn't have the power. We already point out power is kind of irrelevant with the type of striking Jon Jones has. Same thing with Gane. Like they strike the same. I would love to see Jon Jones come out and get a first round knockout.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Like I don't see that happening. I'm the biggest Jon Jones fan. I love Jon Jones. We all do. Inside of the ring as anybody. Like I've never missed this guy's fight. Like I remember we were at that first Alexander Gustafsson fight where everybody thought he was losing, and it was my birthday. I asked Craig about this and Louie and all them. We were out at Tilted Kilt, and they were shots at the end of the fight. It was the championship rounds, and these fucking servers were coming over to me on my birthday. I was like, y'all better get the fuck away from me because if this guy loses the fight while you distract him, I'm going to throw his chair through the window. And I had $100 on the fight back then. It was like, yo, like, that's life or death. I'm like, yo, like, that's how much I like Jon Jones. Like, I've seen him fight twice. We went to see him in Newark. He was my first fight I ever seen. Seen one of his last fights. I love this guy. I think he's He's not a character that I want my kids or your kids to follow. But if you're going to learn from him inside the octagon, he'd be the guy I would like you to be taught by. But anyway, with that being said, I agree with you. I can't go against Jon Jones.
I can't.
If this was anybody else, Cyril Gane was fighting, I'd be taking Cyril Gane. Like, I've taken him in every single fight of his career. I've taken him against Francis, every fight. But I just find it hard to believe that this motivated Jon Jones is going to come out here and lose to a guy that is 1-1 in his last 2 fights, that has no wrestling experience in his life. He's the only heavyweight on the UFC roster that does not have any type of belt in jiu-jitsu or combo. And I think Jon Jones is going to exploit that. I think he's been taunting him on his Twitter, on his Instagram, saying how he can't wrestle, blah, blah, blah. He's bad at clinching. Typical Jon Jones to bring you in. And Jon only does that when he's legit serious about fighting, and he knows, like, he needs to do something to win. So I'm going Jon Jones first round knockout. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That's not going to happen. I'm going with you. I think it's going to be a boring fight. I think it's going to be a boring fight.
That's the only way to make it. Is you got to be boring.
I think the most exciting part about it is going to be just Jon Jones getting back into the cage. I'm taking Jon Jones by decision at plus 180.
Yeah,
I'm also taking over 4.5 at minus 140. I'm taking the distance at minus 128. And then, guys, if you want to take a better bet that's going to get you, something safer, take Jon Jones decision or submission. Double chance at plus 110. Because, like I said, he's probably not going to knock him out. If he does, sorry. I'll be happy, though. I won't have it, but I'll be happy. But I think Jon Jones is going to either submit him late in the fight or he's going to win by decision with that. I have to ask you one last question before we move on to Valentina. If Jon Jones loses this fight, what do you think that means for his legacy?
Nothing at all. He's already the greatest. He's literally the greatest MMA fighter of all time, dude. He's stepping up. It's the same thing we said about Volk a couple weeks ago. What's to do with his legacy? Stepping up and fighting at 155. Same thing with Jon. He's already sealed the deal at light heavyweight, and he is the greatest fighter of all time. This has nothing to do. If he all this is it levels him up. That's it. It levels him up. And for Gane, this is the most important fight of his career. So, broken hand or not.
I agree. Fight. We got the champion Valentina Shevchenko fighting the challenger Alexa Grasso. Now, if you guys are avid UFC fans, you're kind of scratching your head at this fight. Alexa Grasso didn't really deserve a title shot, but hey, there's really no one else for her to fight. Shevchenko is the favorite at minus 720. Grasso is at plus 450. I'm not going to knock Grasso, though. She is 15-3. She got 4 knockouts, 1 submission in her career. Her only losses, I ain't going to knock her. She lost to Carla. She lost to Tatiana.
But she won a streak after losing to Carla.
Yeah, she lost to Felisa Herrick, which are all pretty good fighters. She's on a 4-fight win streak right now, which is pretty good. And then we got Valentina Shevchenko. Paul, how many straight fights has Valentina won?
Is she on her? Hold on. How many fights straight has she won?
9.
I'm pretty sure it's 16. Is it 16?
No, that's Rob.
Oh, see, I'm getting mixed up. Valentina.
So Shevchenko's on an 8-fight win streak.
8-fight win streak.
She's defended her title 7 straight. 4 finishes in 7 fights. You know what's crazy? I brought that up, that she has 4 finishes in 7 of her fights, because people forget that she's a beast. Like, her last fight, she almost got submitted, but she came back. She won the fight. She won the final 3 rounds of the fight to take it over.
Yeah.
And people look at her. Oh, she's getting old. She's done. Like, the 2 fights before her last fight, she had a knockout and a submission. Like, I mean, I really don't know what people are seeing here. Like, what's your prediction for this fight?
Valentina by a 3rd round knockout.
Yeah, I mean,
I think she knows the last fight wasn't great, so she has to perform great for this one.
I agree.
And plus, Valentina, if there's no Amanda Nunes, Valentina might be the female GOAT. So, if there's no Amanda Nunes.
So, my question on what I want to talk about here is, like, if Valentina wins this fight, which she should, what's in the next fight? She should fight Nunes again, right?
I mean, she's gonna move up. She has to move up and fight It's gonna be an older Nunes who's fresh off a win. I don't know, man. I don't know if
the only reason I'm saying is because what does staying in the flyweight division?
Nothing at all. Zero.
So like, she's 0-2 against Nunes, but one of them was a split decision.
Very close game. Very close.
Both of them are kind of getting up there in age. They're not, she's 35 or 36. Nunes, I forget how old Nunes is. I think 34. But both of them have been fighting for a while and winning for a while. So it's like, if Valentina wins this fight, I mean, move up and fight. If it's not Nunes, then it should be an interim belt or something.
A legacy fight.
Yeah, I just think it should be Nunes because I think both these women are on different parts of their career now than when they first fought. And I just think it'd be a perfect fight for either, both of them to retire, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're due.
Yeah, I mean, who else is Nunes going to fight? Like, she's kind of on the same boat. Like, I get Pena beat her, but it's like you shown in the rematch. It's like, it was a fluke.
Yeah.
So I think Valentina fights her. Now, if she loses, I mean, immediate rematch. So that's all we'll be talking about. Immediate rematch. Yeah. But I think it would be a huge. We've seen upsets like this happen, a la Nunes, where Alex Grasso. I'm not going to count her out. But I'm with you. I got Valentina Shevchenko by knockout at plus 230. And then I also took her decision knockout at minus 170. I think. Yeah, I mean, you never know when you get the title fights, it's tough to finish people every single time. So I'll go there. We got another fight coming up. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov against Geoff Neal. Now, if you guys never seen Rakhmonov, let me tell you something. This guy is
a bad name, bro. That is a bad
name. In my books, he's number 2 upcoming fighter. I'm still counting Hamzat because he's not a champion yet. So Hamzat and Rakhmonov, they're 1 and 2. And if you don't agree with me, then you probably watch some other type of fights.
That's a bad bull.
These guys, because this guy is 16-0 with 16 finishes. He has 8 knockouts and 8 submissions. Like, only one of them went past round 2. That's how dominant this guy is. Like, this guy will kick you in the head and he will submit you in the same fight. Like, unbelievable. We got Rakhmonov as the favorite right now at minus 590. Neal is plus 390 underdog. By knockout, Rakhmonov plus 195. Geoff Neal plus 1,000. By submission, plus 170 for Rakhmonov, plus 2,600 for Neal. And by decision, plus 310 for Rakhmonov and plus 2,600, plus 1,000 for Neal. I read the wrong one. I like Geoff Neal though, Paul.
Me too. I like Geoff Neal too. Tough guy. He always hangs around, man. I don't know.
It's a very gutsy fight for him. I think the bad decision, but hey, I think it's if he wins this fight, he's right there for a title shot. To be honest,
if you look who Geoff Neal beat, he beat Bilal.
He's the last.
And he beat Vicente Luque. That was his last one. This is either a make you break you fight for Geoff Neal, I think.
So Geoff Neal is like a hot and cold patch.
Yeah, he's a hot and cold guy.
He's gonna hit you one time, he's gonna be like, damn, that guy is unbelievable. And then he's gonna come out and he's gonna get his ass whooped by Neil Magny. It's like, what is going on? Neil Magny's a good fighter, but it's like, dude, like you beat Bilal Muhammad, who hasn't lost since he fought you.
Yeah.
And you lose to Ponzini. You lose to who did he lose to here? He lost to Magny. It's like, dude, I don't know. The thing is this. Rakhmonov is an elite grappler who can strike.
Yeah.
Where Geoff Neal is a guy who is probably one of the best boxers in the division. But can he keep Rakhmonov off of him? Because his takedown defense is very questionable. But he's proven in the last couple of fights that it's gotten better.
Yeah.
You're going to need to get better against a guy like Rakhmonov who can knock you out or submit you. Like, you don't really have any area to train. If you guys look him up, you're gonna see he looks like Khabib. He looks like Khabib. Hat. He's from Kazakhstan.
He got the beard and everything.
Yeah, you guys probably recognize Kazakhstan from what's that movie? That guy was in. What the hell's his name? Borat. He's from
Borat. I was about to say.
I remember when he first came. I was like, I remember this was maybe like 2 years ago. This guy was fighting, and Osmagulov was fighting, and they're both from Kazakhstan. I was like, where the hell is Kazakhstan? And I looked it up. First thing that pops up is Borat.
And Triple G's from there too.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, all right. They got some good fighters. Like when they're elite, they're pretty good. So, I mean, what's your prediction for this fight? You think Neil has a shot?
I think Neil does have a shot just because he's seen some of the best. But Rakhmonov, he's on something. He's on fire. Yeah. And I think he's going to toss Jeff Neal around like ragdoll.
Like I said, I think it's a bad fight for Jeff Neal.
It's a terrible fight. But I mean,
the thing is, you got to take them shots in your career when you're getting up in age. Yeah. You're trying, I get it. So, I mean, you never know. That's why they fight. With that being said, guys, I recommend that you bet Rakhmonov round 2 submission at plus 850. That's my bet.
That's cool with me.
Like I said, he got 8 knockouts and 8 stand-up, 8 submissions. The only reason I think it's going to be a submission is because Jeff Neal is very good on his hands. So I think Rakhmonov is going to exploit his weakness, which is takedown defense, and he's going to submit it.
I agree.
And like I said, he's only been outside of round 2 one time in his whole career. So round 1 submission, round 2 submission. That's my pick there. I like that. We're talking a lot about submissions here, so we're going to jump ahead since we're in the submission go. We're going to go with your boy Bo Nick. Bo Nickel fighting. He's minus 2,200. Like, this guy's unbelievable. Minus 2,200 against Jamie.
Cocky with it too.
870. And listen, I'll say this, guys. This guy hasn't proven to be wrong yet. Like, the last time he was able to be betted, he was minus 3,600, and he dominated the guy in 35 seconds. The time before that, he was minus 2,800, and he won in under 2 minutes. Both by submission, and he has a knockout, so he's 3-0 in his career. Penn State alum. This dude is a 3-time national champion, right?
Yeah, 3-time one of the most decorated champions in NCAA wrestling history.
You like this guy a lot, right? You a big fan of him?
I like him. I do. I seen this come up, and he's not bad. He's not 3-0. I think it's kind of hyping him up a little bit, and you're putting him up against a crafty veteran like Pickett. But
the thing is, these guys that come off Dana White Contender Series,
yeah,
good, but they're
good. They are. He does choose talent pretty well. Like,
think about it. Like, he's looked better than every single one of them by a land shot.
Yeah.
So, he's an elite grappler. Like, he's not just a wrestler. He's a hell of a grappler. And somehow, I guess he used to get in a lot of boxing fights at Penn State because he got hands.
They're fast. They're fast.
He is quick.
He's fast. I don't know where it comes from, but hey.
I'm not the type of person that likes to get on the hype trains.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical.
Daddy, he was one of them. You never know with these guys. They got to get on the main event and see what they do. But I'm looking at these odds, Paul, and I'm very questionable on why they're like they are. Not the minus 2,200. I get that.
I get that. That's what I'm questioning that too.
Why is he only minus 155 to win by submission when that's what he does?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that don't make any sense. So obviously my recommendation is I got a bunch of them. I don't see this fight going a distance.
Yeah.
The first fight on UFC cards are always
action
fine finishes. I think it's going to happen this way. That's why I don't get the odds for it. My prediction for this, Paul, is to bet submission at minus 155 for Bo Nickel, to bet a round 1 submission at minus 105 for Bo Nickel. Also bet a round 2 submission for Bo Nickel at plus 750, and throw a couple more bucks on a round 3 submission for Bo Nickel at plus 2,100. Because I don't see any way that he does not win this fight by submission. I am very confident in it. That's probably going to be my lock of the night, even though this guy's never even fought on pay-per-view. That's how damn good he is.
He's amazing, man. I'm like you. I don't like to jump on the hype trains, but I've seen this guy. I've seen this guy work, and he's somebody that's gonna he's gonna shake it up if he starts making a name for himself in the UFC. Plus, he's a decorated amateur wrestler.
Yeah,
he should be an Olympian.
I hope he pans out. I do, because this guy's talking all this shit. He's talking about how he wants to fight Hamzat already, and
slow down, champ.
He's not just saying that to get clout. Like, he really, he wants him. He wants to fight him right now. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that happen, that a guy literally comes into the UFC, fights one, and then moves all the way up to number one.
Ronda Rousey.
Alex, that's it. Pereira did it last year. So
yeah, Alex Pereira.
I mean, 10 years ago, it would never happen.
Nah.
You got to play 10, 15 fights, get into even the rankings. But hey, now UFC's, they need a star. So if he comes out here and puts on a performance, he's a
baby face though. I don't know if they will make him a star though. He's a baby face in my opinion. He's more of a decorated wrestler, you know.
But he's a shit talker, and
he is definitely a shit talker. You're right about that. But
you got the whole wrestling world that knows who he is.
Yeah.
They'll start watching UFC because someone like him's in it, even though they probably already watch it. But they might buy the $100 pay-per-views then. So what's your prediction for this fight?
Bo by submission. But when I say this though, it's not any disrespect because Jimmy Pickett has been around the block a couple times. He's a tough edge out for anybody. He's a tough showdown for anybody. But I got to roll with the kid. Yeah, I think this is a bad matchup for Pickett. Could be fight of the night though, because we can see Pickett make it to a slug fight. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bo. Bo knows wrestling.
Yeah.
So
now we gotta talk about my favorite fight on the fight card. We got Jalen Turner versus Gamrot. Turner is the underdog of this fight at plus 172, and Gamrot is minus 225. I give credit to both these guys because Jalen Turner was originally slated to fight Dan Hooker, who got out of the fight maybe like a month ago. Gamrot was 20-2. He's right there for a title shot. Yeah. He didn't have to take this shot. He's stepping in short notice to fight someone who's ranked below him. And I think that's a ballsy call. I think it's very ballsy call because the matchup that these guys have, they are complete opposite of each other. They are complete opposite. Jalen Turner likes to throw heavy hands. Gamrot likes to throw heavy legs.
Yep.
Gamrot likes to take you down. Jalen Turner likes to take you down as well, though, sometimes, but with power. This fight's crazy because, when you look at records, Jalen Turner's 13-5. He's 7-2 in the UFC, though.
Yeah, that's what matters.
He's on a 5-fight win streak with 5 submission, knockout, submission, KO. All of those submissions, though, were started by a strike landed that knocked his opponent down. He hasn't beat any huge name fighters yet.
Nah.
But, man, this guy I think he's one of the best up-and-comer fighters. I think a loss in this fight doesn't really hurt him at all. I think, if anything, it's an experience. He's only 27 years old, which is young now in UFC. But Gamrot, people don't even really know this guy. Have you seen this guy fight a lot at all? Because I know most people that I talk to about UFC maybe seen this guy fight.
Well, I tell you this. I seen him fuck up Jeremy Stevenson.
that body shot, leg kick that he took him down with.
That was vicious.
Almost killed his kidneys. But
that was nasty.
He was an underdog in that Tazorian fight. I don't know how to say the name. He was an underdog in that fight, and he went out there and whooped him. He whooped him. That was one of the first times I really seen him fight, and it was on the ESPN Fight Night card. And he was the underdog, and I took Tazorian. I took Tazorian. I took him, and Gamrot went out there and he put on a clinic of just his ability. His low leg kicks, man. You know me. I talk about a lot in the UFC. Low leg kicks are going to win you fights.
It's a great job.
Yeah, and he's very efficient at doing them. So he has 7 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's very good at wrestling. He's very good at grappling. He can take you down. Jalen Turner is a dirty boxer. That's why I like him. He's a street fighter boxer.
Scrappy, man. He's scrappy. I do enjoy watching this kid fight.
I do. I think the Tarantula is one of the up-and-comers. I think he's in the top 10, in my opinion. Not in UFC, but like upcomer fighters.
Yeah.
He's got to be there. So
Yeah,
you guys got to tune in for this fight because you talk about that Bo might be a slugfest. This could be a slugfest fight too.
It could be.
Like both these guys want to get a finish, and they want to get that extra bonus. They're the type of guys that want to get bonuses. What's your prediction for this fight? We got, like I said, Gamrot is the favorite.
Hate this. I'm gonna go with Gamrot because I think this kid, after losing Dariush, I think he's gonna come back and be like, "Fuck it, I really need to make a name for myself." And I know what I can do, and I'm going up against an up and comer. They're testing me, so I'm not gonna be the one the kid walks over to make a name for himself. No, not me. No. I want a title shot. Forget the rest.
Hey, I mean, I hate to disagree with you there because you're right. You are right. And that Dariush fight, like, he didn't get dominated, and Dariush dominated everybody. Like, he killed everybody. You talk about we need the Jon Jones fight to be boring. Dariush fights are boring, and he made that fight entertaining. Always. He's really good though. But like Gamrot, I'm a big fan of him. That's the problem. But I'm a bigger fan of Jalen Turner.
I like Jalen Turner too, but I don't know, man. I gotta roll with the guy who's
my guy.
I know he wants a title shot. He's a step closer to a title shot than the young bull is. Exactly. So I think in his head he's like, nah, you ain't taking me. You're not stripping my shit.
If Gamrot loses this fight, he may never get a title shot.
Exactly.
To be honest with you, where it's the opposite for Turner. Like if he loses this fight, he's still got. It's a short notice fight. He's taking the guy on him. He would have whooped Dan Hooker. Let's be real. He would have whooped Dan Hooker. He would have, yeah. I think Dan Hooker, what Dan Hooker does is he schedules fights against guys that have 5+ win streaks, just that his losses in a row don't look bad. Like, go look at Dan Hooker's previous fights. Michael Chandler, he scheduled Jalen Turner. Or he got his ass whooped by Rachmanov. Like, all these guys, like, he fights good fighters and he gets killed. I think he just wants to collect the paycheck. And maybe he might get $50,000 for being the knockout of the night. I don't know, but he's not in this fight, and it makes it such a better fight.
He beat my man from South Philly. I have never liked Dan Hooker after that. He beat Paul Felder, and I've never liked him after that.
Hangman he's done
out.
But I don't agree with you in this fight. I'm not saying you're wrong because you are right, like what was going to happen. But I just think the dirty boxing and the length of Jalen Turner, I just like it too much. You know me, I like the guys that have the long arms, the long kicks. Yeah. I just like they're so hard to figure out, so hard to beat that like Gamrot is never fought a guy like this. But obviously Turner never fought a guy like him either. But I just think he has it, man. I'm telling you, like this guy is like he has the flash, like. And he's not a hype train because nobody's really talking about him.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Jalen Turner upset plus 172. I'm taking Jalen Turner by knockout round 3. I'm taking it plus 460 by knockout. Now I'm not very confident in that because Gamrot is a beast and everything you said is true. So kind of that's kind of like one of my picks that I like, but it's at the bottom of my I think it's gonna be the best fight of the night.
Yeah, I agree. Could be.
It could be. Well, we got a couple fights on the undercard that we need to talk about real quick. We're not going to really break into them because there's too much. I can sit here for hours. But we need to talk about Cody Garbrandt coming back.
Oh, boy. It hurts me. My chin hurts talking about him.
He is the favorite in this fight against Trevin Jones at minus 178. Now, I got to point out something that you always say. Streaks are always meant to be broken. So which streak will be broken? The
losing streak,
the jawless Cody Garbrandt streak, or the 2-fight losing streak for Trevin Jones?
I think the 2-fight losing streak is gonna stop. Here's my problem:
everybody's taking Trevin Jones because they're like, "Yo, Cody's done."
It's just a bad matchup for Cody, man. It's a bad matchup.
Like. You can't have a bad like when your chin goes. You can't do nothing. Yeah. It's not your fault. Like it is what it is. Like it happens. Some fighters it happens faster. Some
it happened real fast for Cody though. real fast.
You know, I mean, hey, that's what happens when you win the title and then you don't train and then you talk all the shit and then you keep your jaw open. Like, he brought it on himself because we remember how good he was, and then
he was.
Boom, and it was his own doing. It was his own doing. I agree with you. I had Trevin Jones there. We got to talk about my guy who should be on the main event, Dricus du Plessis. He's minus 250 favorite against Derek Brunson.
It's a big motherfucker.
Now, guys, you got to go watch the guy. He's from South Africa. He's dude is swole as fuck. The dude is swole as fuck. Man. He's strong as shit, and he is a kickboxer who is a ground-based fighter. Those in 10 years are going to be the fighters that take over. Like, if you have striking, you can throw head kicks, and then you're elite on the ground, it's going to be very hard to beat.
Wait, is he coming out the same gym as is he?
Yeah, he fights
straight. Damn, dude, that's all they do is pump out contenders like this.
And I'm pretty sure on the last 2 fight cards, they went undefeated. Them and Kill Cliff Usman's camp, they went undefeated. I'm bringing that up because we got another guy on the fight card that's from there. So if you guys ever see their fight cards, their gyms, just take them. You know, they're likely going to win. They're always going to be contenders. But the problem is he's fighting Derek Brunson, who, like, you like to overlook him, but then when you do, you know, he could very easily be the champion right now if he didn't fucking get caught and get knocked out by Connor, because he was winning that fight.
And then
Connor got the title shot. You know, it could have went a lot different if he would have finished that submission in that first round for Derek Brunson. I got for this fight, I got my guy du Plessis submission plus 500. I also got him being around 3 submission at plus 3,500. I don't know what you have, but I think it's going to be a submission win for du Plessis. He's already he was talking about his disappointment on how all he does is pump out finishes, and he's not on a pay-per-view. He's kind of disrespected by it, so I think he's gonna have a finish. I think he's gonna have a finish in this fight. What do you think? You think Brunson's gonna have a comeback with? Yeah, I will say this: he is blonde Brunson. He's pretty good when he's
okay. Okay. All right. I mean, that weighs me a little bit more. Just a little bit more, you know. Hey, it's my Dennis Rodman mode now. I'm gonna actually roll with your boy by a submission too.
All right, I like it. We got another fight. We got 2 chicks fighting on this card. We got Amanda Ribas versus Vivian Araújo. Now, like, this is a fight that one of these girls is going to get a title shot within their next 2 fights.
Yeah, one of these girls are definitely getting a title shot.
I'm a big fan of Amanda Ribas, even though she lost one of her other fights that she let me down. I forget which fight it was. Lemos? Was it Lemos? I think it was Amanda Lemos. She lost to Lemos. But this is a tough fight because it went back and forth. Like, on the odds, it was originally minus 122 Araújo to win. Now it's minus 122 for Ribas to win. Like, I know a lot of people don't really like watching these women fights.
No, they get it in. Hold on. First of all, especially Amanda Ribas, they get it in. Like, if you actually watch them, they're trying hard.
Like, we got Brazil. When a Brazilian woman is fighting, they put the work in. Like,
they do.
Yeah, they're interesting fights here. So, what do you got for this fight?
I'm going Ribas. I think she wants a title shot, and it's the only way she's gonna get it right now. That lost it. Listen, that lost to Katie Coogan. That was bad. Let's be real. It was a split decision, though. It was a split. So I mean,
you hear something funny about that? Now you bring that up. Now I remember. So Caitlin Chohagan was. Remember, I always talk about, like, I'm a big live bettor for UFC. I like how they walk out. So Caitlin Chohagan was fighting Amanda Ribas, right? And I was a big fan of Amanda Ribas. So I had Amanda Ribas in that fight. And then Chohagan came out that fight, DMX. And I immediately knew Chohagan's winning the fight. And me and Craig are sitting here.
Any fighter that plays DMX, they know.
Ribas. I was like, nah, like, sorry. And she ended up winning. And it was like, damn, now I remember that fight. I probably blocked out my memory because I wanted Ribas. But I got Ribas as well. I think it'll be a decision fight. Could be a submission, but I got her money. I got her decision plus 155. We got a couple other fights, but let's talk about Ian Gary. 10-0, fighting out of Ireland. I don't know what to think of this guy.
Not as swag. Listen, he's not as swaggier as Connor, but he definitely gets the job done.
My thing about him, he's hyped without being hyped, if that makes sense. They don't advertise him a lot.
Nah.
But whenever they talk about him, they're like, oh, this guy's going to knock people out, this and that. I'm yet to see that. I see a guy who is very, very good at boxing. He is very good at takedown defense.
Yes.
I haven't seen him on the ground yet. He's one of them guys that gets up when he gets down. I haven't seen him caught yet because he's very lengthy. But I haven't seen this guy. I haven't seen any championship blood in him. I'm not knocking him at all because he wins his fights. But to win your fights against amateur fighters, you got to finish them. When you get into the title shots and all, I get it. Like, they're all elite. They're coming for you. It's harder to stop them. But, he needs to come out in this fight and win by knockout. I'm sorry. I think he knows it. He just had a kid. So, hey, you already know, Paul, what happens when these fighters, they're fighting their first fight with their kid. What happens? Yeah. They show out.
Yeah.
You know, a newborn, obviously. They don't know. They just have that adrenaline in them. So,
even though Nunez didn't.
Yeah, well, she got COVID and all that type of bullshit. She didn't look good when she came into that fight. So, Ian Gary's minus 670. I'm taking him by knockout round 2 at plus 500. I think he's going to finish the fight here. I don't know what you think. Probably decision. But I would bet. But you think Ian Gary's going to show out?
I think so. Absolutely. Like you say, he's a hype job by not being a hype job. I think this fight's going to make him a hype job. So I do like this guy though, man. Even though I was wrong when I was picking where he's from. I actually forgot he was from Ireland, but
he looks like an American.
I like this guy, man. I like this guy. His
last name is hyphen, so he's actually Ian Machado Gary. His wife's Brazilian, and
his wife's Brazilian.
There was a story on why he took the name. I forget. Whatever. But yeah,
he's a real one for that. Shout out to my man. He's a real one for that one.
Yeah, but yeah, I like it. Now, I'm not going to talk about any of the other fights, but I do want to give you guys one more pick. I have an upset. We got an 8-0 fighter for Reed Bashart. He's minus 480. He's fighting Damon Blackshear, who's plus 330. This guy has been training with Jon Jones since his day one of his career. He's fighting out of Winkelbach. Like, if you guys watch this guy on his Instagram, his videos that he puts up, dude's a beast. Like, dude is an animal. It kind of reminds me of what's his name? The dude with the ear, the Puerto Rican guy, the Cuban guy. I can't think of his name.
Yoel Romero.
Yoel. It kind of reminds me of Yoel with the way that he fights. He's just like a brute
explosive
beast. And I was very surprised that he was a plus 330 underdog here coming out of that camp and being like, he's a beast. Like, he's a former champion in other divisions. He was on one of the Dana White shows. So if you guys are looking for an underdog bet, it's the second one tonight. Damon Blackshear. I like it. I think it could be an upset of the night. So take that in. Anything else you want to talk about, Paulie?
Nah, not really. Just tune in for that Bones Jones fight, man, because I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I think
I'm waiting for it. I think I'm more excited about the comeback of the GOAT. Like, we never in a million years. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't think Jon Jones was ever gonna come back to UFC.
Yeah, me either.
I thought we saw the last of him when he fought Thiago. I thought that was it after that. But man, it's good to have the GOAT back, man.
Yeah, I really hope for his legacy that he gets a win.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it too. It won't clean his record up, but it's definitely gonna make people be like, okay, he's still a bad motherfucker.
Well, actually, we didn't even talk about his record there. We didn't talk about his steroid fails, which if he failed a steroid test now, it wouldn't even be a fail. So for all of you out there, just FYI, whatever. I don't think it matters. But that fight's interesting. I find it ironic too. I forgot to bring it up. They haven't really been interviewing Cyril Gane. So like he hasn't really been on talking a lot.
Did you see the embedded?
Yeah.
He actually talks a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like if you're watching like the build up the fight week.
Yeah, it's not his style. It's never been Gane. Gane, first of all, he's no respect, French guy who has good English, but he's not a shit talker. He's kind of more of a let me get done.
The only thing that he did say coming up to the fight was, "Oh, I wasn't really training that hard up to the fight." And Jon Jones is like, "I don't believe you, but okay." Like, yeah, all right.
He might have a broken hand, so
yeah. I mean, we didn't even bring that up because
he might have a broken hand. He might be able. He might not be throwing that right hand a lot. He might be a full southpaw.
Like, if he does have a broken left or right hand, that changes the whole fight.
It does.
Not too much though, like not as much as people think because
he does everything else.
Very lefty heavy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be so, like you never know with things like that. So, like you said earlier in the text, like it might be swollen for fighting. It doesn't look like it's swollen. It looks like he has a broken fucking hand from recovery of the Thai fight. But then again, he could use that something to lure Jon Jones.
Yeah, lure Jon in.
You never know. I mean, you want to get any advantage you can against a title shot, especially against someone like Jon Jones. So
absolutely.
You never know. I don't know. I hope that he does not have something happen to him that where he can't fight. If he does, it's going to be Pavlovic against Jones, and that's a whole different talk. That's a whole different fight.
That is definitely a whole different fight.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm with you guys. Tune into the fight. Hope you liked what we had to say. Hope it helped you out, and go win some bets. Paulie, good talk, brother.
Absolutely, man.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all later.
We'll get at y'all later, man.